Hello friends, my name is Salman and you are watching my channel. In the last video we have covered the topic related to NFS data store. In this video I will show to configure iSCSI data store. So let's suppose we have an VM on our local data store, or if we want to move to another host, we are not able to move otherwise because this is reside on the local data store. For this reason, we will create a shared data store, because if your host crash down, you will move easily. You will start your machine from another host. So that's why I will cover the total steps of iSCSI, how to create iSCSI data store or iSCSI SAN data store in a detail in this video. So as you can see, we have a few options of shared data store. As you can see, iSCSI, fiber channel over Ethernet. So these are the options available for us for creating a shared data stores. So because shared data store gives us the ability to move the VM in case of disaster. So in this video I will discuss in detail what is the iSCSI and how we create iSCSI data store. So basically there are some concepts of iSCSI. Basically the iSCSI is composed of two main components. One is called target and other one is called initiator. Basically targets is you can say like a SAN, storage agent network, or any other appliance which reside on your network. In target we have some key component like LUNs. LUNs is basically logical unit numbers. SPs are stored procedures, and which can be assigned an IP address. And after that we have an IQN. IQN is basically is a storage address like IP address in networking. We use IQN in storage world. So this is the target component. In target we have a SAN, or we can make a Windows 2000 server as a iSCSI target or Linux target, or we use any appliance in place of target. So for initiator we have two components. One is called HBA, host bus adapter. Basically this is a storage connectivity card, and other one is called VM kernel port. Basically I have discussed all these kernel port in my previous videos, so you can watch from there if you have any doubt about VM kernel port. So this is the basic parts of our iSCSI setups. So as I told you, storage procedure and an IP address for accessing the network storage. For example, I will give SP as a interface and giving this IP address for accessing to the target SAN or some storage up. So there are two parts. One is called server portion and other one is called the client portion. So for creating iSCSI, what I will do, I will create a new view switch, and after that I will associate this switch with an uplink, physical uplink of the server, and on that switch I will create a VM kernel port which is used for the iSCSI traffic. I call it VM kernel port. And after that I will create a iSCSI bus adapter on my ESXi host and bound this iSCSI adapter to my server. So first of all, let's move to the let's move to the discussing of why iSCSI. Basically, what is iSCSI? Why we use iSCSI in place of NFS? Basically, what is a block? iSCSI is a block level storage. What is block level storage? A block level storage or block storage is a storage used for structured data, and it's commonly deployed in storage area network. It uses internet small system interface, iSCSI and fiber channel protocol. Basically, what is block level storage is very fast, and it is typically used in SAN environment. And storage we use the two protocol. One is called iSCSI and other one is called fiber channel protocol. Block storage uses a block which is used of sequence of bytes and to store structure workflow, each value which function as an address. In block stored without any metadata or data format type on ownership. Basically, block storage provide us the facility to that we can boot our VMs from direct block storage, because in NFS have the ability to boot our VMs directly from the storage, but in block storage ability to boot directly from the SAN storage. So this is the but the other side of the block storage is very costly and not commonly used because it is very expensive. SAN is and normal SAN $50,000 US dollars. So but block storage is very secure and very reliable as compared to the other storage, which is file level storage. So what is the iSCSI protocol? iSCSI is an internet based protocol which is run on the top of the TCP/IP network stacks. So basically, unlike fiber channel protocol, because fiber channel protocol also block level storage protocol, but fiber channel protocol uses the HBA card, which is again an expensive solution, and fiber optic switch, which is again a costly device. And iSCSI SAN, in the other hand, iSCSI SAN uses only existing Ethernet network, which is the cost-effective solution. So iSCSI is the much better than fiber channel because it is less expensive than fiber channel. So we always use fiber channel first if we don't have a budget constraint, but if we have a budget constraint, then we use iSCSI. Basically, what are the targeted of iSCSI? So basically these are the topic I will cover on this lecture. So I covered iSCSI components and what is the block level storage. So iSCSI component, basically iSCSI component is composed of iSCSI initiator, which is in my case is ESXi server, then HBA card. HBA card is host bus adapter, and then iSCSI target, which is in my SAN or in my lab environment. I will create iSCSI target on the Windows 2019 server machine. So basically, iSCSI performance depend upon of the network performance. If I will use the 10 Gbps network speed or network cards, so it will perform much better than on 1 Gbps network card. On the other hand, if I use data bridging, basically data bridging is data center bridging is if we create the VLANs for separating our network traffic from our data traffic, storage traffic. That's why its performance increases. And last one is multipathing. That means if we assign the multiple network card to the same iSCSI target, in that scenario it will enhance the performance of our iSCSI target. So these are the targets of iSCSI. We can the ideal target is SAN, storage area network. We can create a on SAN, and then after SAN we have NAS, and we also can create on the tape and or logical units number. There are some limitations of the iSCSI, but I will discuss it later on. So I will discuss the iSCSI storage target. What are the storage target of iSCSI SAN? Now I will move to the next part of my video, which is how to add a new VM kernel port and switch to our ESXi server. So this is my lab environment, home lab environment. I have a VM workstation. On top of that, I installed two hypervisor, two ESXi server, ESXi.7 and ESXi server. I installed on second ESXi I installed vCenter server, and on first server I installed my client machine. So I will launch the vCenter server. As you can see, these are my two ESXi server, 138 and 134. On 138 I have installed the vCenter servers, VCSA, which you can see is running, and on the second server, and also on second server I install a Windows 7 machine. So I will move. As you can see, this is Windows 7 is reside on my first server, and it is reside on a local data store 1. So Windows 7 is reside on my first ESXi server, and I will create a new iSCSI target and move this VM to the iSCSI target on a shared data store. So as you can see, so the first step is to create a new VM kernel port and switch to ESXi server 1. So I will create on both. So I will create my host and go to configuration, and on networking we have options one switch VM. Here I will click on the add a networking, and here I will click on the VM kernel adapter. The VM kernel TCP/IP stack is traffic for VXI hosts such as FS, FOC, and fault tolerance, and vSAN host management. So I am interested in iSCSI. So I created this VM kernel for iSCSI purpose. So I click on the next, and here I will create a new standard switch. So I click on new standard switch and click next, and I assign any unassigned adapter to this VM kernel switch. So I click on plus sign and VM NIC 1. I click this and click OK. So I will assign this to my new switch. So I give it a logical name. I will use this VM kernel port for my iSCSI traffic. So I will call it VM kernel dash iSCSI. Basically we type I in small and SCSI in caps, because this is the convention for us. Now as you can see, we don't have any option for iSCSI traffic, so we don't check any checkbox, and click on the next button. So there is no service available for that, so I click on the next button. Here I will assign an IP address on our VM kernel port, because as you can see, we should assign the IP address which is same as for our iSCSI target, because we don't need any routing or subnetting in between our client and host machine. Basically the target, initiator and target must be on the same network. So I will assign an IP address which is the same series of our target iSCSI SAN. So I will type my subnet related to the my target subnet 192.168.18.92, and I give the subnet mask of class C address. So oops, there is a mistake because in first octet I forget to write 2555. Instead I have typed 25. So I will correct it to and click on the next button, and I click on the finish button. So as you can see now, if you click on the more task, you can see updating network inventory. So again I move to the my most and machines, and here if you scroll down, you can see there is a new switch created which is called VM kernel port iSCSI, and the associated IP address and physical NIC with this switch. So I have created a switch with VM kernel port and with the IP address as we desire. So in the same way I will perform the task on my second host. So the both two hosts are able to communicate with my initiator. So I will create the same VM kernel port. So steps are the same. So I will move forward. We also call it VM kernel called dash iSCSI, and click next. Here I also assign an IP address which is the same as same subnet as we have a target network. So as you can see, now I give the subnet mask of this subnet and click on the next and click on the finish. So the new switch will appear in a moment. So as you can see, now second switch is also ready. I also assign an IP address to VM kernel port, assign a physical network card to new switch. So I have created all these steps. Now I will perform the remaining tasks of this. So I will add a software HBA card for this on my host. For adding a software adapter card, you must go to the configure storage, and in storage you have an option of storage adapter. Here you can see, here we have an option to add a software adapter, add a software adapter card. So I will click on the add a software adapter from the top. So this is the equivalent to HBA card. So I will create on add software adapter card, add a software iSCSI card, click on the OK. So it will add a card on my SSI server. So this is the card. So if I take the properties, here I will have a IQN. Basically IQN is a naming convention of iSCSI. So I will copy this IQN number. So this IQN number is required when I will connect my ESXi server to the my target or iSCSI machine. So I will copy it, the IQN number of my ESXi adapter, and I will save this on my on the desktop. I will save this IQN number in a text file, so I will use later on when I require this. So IQN so I will paste my IQN for my first adapter. Now in the same way I will create another IQN. I will add another host bus adapter, iSCSI bus adapter on my second client. So I will connect on the second client and click on the add software iSCSI adapter and click next, and as you can see it will appear. So I will select it and edit the setting of my IQN number, and again I will copy this IQN number from my second adapter and paste in my text file. So I will use this when I want to connect my ESXi server to my SAN. So I will minimize all this. So as you can see, I add the iSCSI software adapter in my ESXi server. Copy IQN number to iSCSI target. So I will complete the few steps. Now the now the client side is ready. Now I will configure a server side. So in my case, I am using Windows Server 2019 as a iSCSI target. In real environment we have a SAN, but in my environment, lab environment, I using Windows 2019 server as a iSCSI target. As you can see, I created one machine in my previous video for NFS share. So what I will do, I will add a disk to my VM Windows 2019 machine, which act as a iSCSI storage or target. So for this reason, I will right click on my Windows 2019 machine and click on the settings. In setting, we have an option for hard drive. Click on that and click on the add, and click on the hard disk and SCSI hard drive, and click on the next and create a new virtual hard drive, and I will give the space of 50 GB. So I will use for my SCSI target and click next, and again click on the finish. So in this way you can easily add any storage in your virtual hard drive. It will rescan or restart your server, as you can see, restoring virtual disk. So in this way you can easily add any virtual drive, any virtual disk in your VMs as you like. So I will add a brand new virtual drive in my Windows 2019 machine, which will be act as a iSCSI target. So the restoring the virtual machine. So I log in on that machine and click on. So I will click on the. I will launch the disk management. So you can launch disk management from the command prompt diskmanagement.msc. So it will open the console of server disk management. Here you can see I have an unknown drive of 50 GB. So first of all I right click on my drive. So I will use it. So I right click in drive and click online. So it will bring online my hard drive. Now I again right click on drive and initialize this. So I will initialize this one is selected, click OK. Again it is unallocated and unformatted. I right click and create a new simple volume, click next and assign drive letter and again click next. So in this way click again next. So I will create a drive which will use for iSCSI target. So now I created the target. So this is I will change the label for this. So I will remember this is used for iSCSI. So I rename the machine iSCSI target. So I apply and OK. Now after that what I will do. So as you can see I have a now brand new partition. So for launching is configure iSCSI, we launch the server manager, and in server manager on local server I off iSCSI. So click on the add role and features, click on the next, and role based and feature based installation, click next. Again select the server and click next, and in file and storage services expand this and select the iSCSI target server. Select this and click to the next button. So it will install on Windows 2019 server, and again click the next and click on the install. So this is very straightforward process. So I have add a role of iSCSI storage in my Windows server. Now I will create a iSCSI disk and iSCSI movement. So what I will do, I will launch my server and it will install the feature of iSCSI. So it will take a few minutes for completion. So I will wait for it. So I will click on file services and click on the iSCSI. Here I have clicked to create iSCSI virtual disk. I click on that link. So it will ask me the name of drive letter for my new iSCSI. I select my new drive. I also create any custom folder if I like, but I created this drive. So I click on the next. Here I can specify a name for my disk name. So I called it iSCSI target. Now this is the path which I will use for connecting my NAS. Here I will assign this storage. So I will assign the 40 GB right now and select the default options and click on the next. Again, if I like to merge any previous iSCSI target, I can do that, but in my case I will create a new iSCSI target as we don't have any iSCSI target. So I click on the new iSCSI target and click on the next button. I give it a name, any user friendly name to it. So I call it iSCSI target, and I click on the next button. I also give the description as sign on Windows Server 2019 and click on the next. Now I specify the iSCSI initiator. So I can add my IQN number here, or I can access this target from the IP address. In my case, as I told you, I copy my IQN numbers. So I will add my IQN numbers here. So only those IQNs are able to connect this server. So here we can assign any IP address, or if you will like to add an Windows server as an initiator. But in my case, I have added an IQN number. We also access from the IP address, but in my case I use IQN. So I will copy paste these IQN numbers which is associated with my ESXi. I copy the first IQN number and paste it here as an initiator and click OK. Again I will add the second IQN number and paste my second ESXi server IQN number, copy it and paste into my IQN number and click OK. You can see now these two IQN number, associated with my HBA card are added in iSCSI target. So these two can allow to access my iSCSI target from the network. So in the same way, I click on the next, and here I don't enable the authentication because this is the LAMP environment. So I don't enable this, and again click on the next, and again click on the created. So in this way we easily create the iSCSI. Okay. In the real environment the target is sent, but in our lab I have created the iSCSI target on my Windows Server 2019 server. Click down the close, and now I will connect this. I will establish a connectivity between my client and initiator. I go to the storage adapter and click a dynamic discovery and click on the add. Here I can add a iSCSI server with the help of IP address. So the IP address of my server is, as you can see, 192.168.18.90. So I will write it down here. So this is my target. So I add a iSCSI server over here. So I will now it will ask me to rescan the screen. So I will rescan adapter. There I fourth option, rescan the adapters. So as you can see now, this is my server is added to my ESXi host. Now I will move to the network port binding and again click on the next. Now as you can see, I have two network kernel adapter. The first one, the second one, which is I created for the purpose of iSCSI target. So I select this one, and this is used for connectivity of iSCSI target, and click on the OK. And again it will ask me rescan. So I will rescan the adapter. So now my, as you can see, now my connectivity is established with my iSCSI target with the VM kernel port 1, which I have created in earlier. Now I perform the same task on my second server. I will select my software adapter card dynamic discovery and add my IP address of my server. So this host also connect with my iSCSI target server. So I give the IP address, and after that I will resync adapter and it will connect. Now I will move to the network port binding and perform the same task. Click add and mark the VM kernel port which I have created. Click OK and rescan my adapter. So now I have connectivity with my ESXi server with my iSCSI target server. So now this is very straightforward process, but keep watching all these steps in sequence, otherwise you will be having some trouble or problems in configuring this type of connectivity. So now what I will do, I will create a data store. So the data store creation is very simple. Click on the data center and right click. As you can see, it has some trouble. So on data store, right click on my data store and click on the storage and click on the new data store. So click on the new data store. So the first we will select the first option, create a VMFS data store, a disk or LUN, and so I will select the first one, which is used for block storage, either on the local storage or SAN or iSCSI target. So I will use the first option, VMFS, which is used for disk or logical unit numbers. So I click on the next. So I give any user friendly name. So I call it iSCSI target and select the host. I will bind this data store on. This is the host bus adapter. So I will select this, and again I select the second one, and this is the disk which is bounded to my second option. Now I will select the VMware version. So onwards 6.5 we have a version of VM file system version 6. Click on the next button. So I can increase or decrease the size of my new data store. So in this case I will go with 40 GB. So I click finish. So as you can see now, in more tasks we have a new creation of new data store. So it will take a few seconds for creating a new data store. So I will move again storage. So as you can see now, new data storage appear iSCSI target. So I successfully created a new data store iSCSI target in my inventory. So if I move to the my first ESXi server, and in summary, now you can see I have two data stores. Basically this third one is for my Wien course, which is on my hard drive, which I disconnected. Now on my second host I have also two data stores are present. One is all local and other one is shared data store. So now I successfully add the data store on my ESXi servers. Now what I will do next, I will move my Windows 7 machine which reside on the local data store, as you can see. It is a local data store, and I will move my VM from local data store to shared data store. So in case of any disaster of this VM, this host, I will run it from another host. So the virtual, for migrating the virtual machine, right click and click on the migrate. Here I will choose only the storage, move to the storage. I don't want to change the compute resources. I want to change the hard drive from one data store to another. So I click on the next. Now it will show me all the attached hard drive data store with this host. I will connect my iSCSI target, which I will create it. So I select this one and click on the next, and I will click on the finish. Now in this way, I will easily move my virtual machine from local data store to the shared data store. So as you can see, it will reallocate the storage. So I pause the video and come back when this conversion is completed. As you can see, now it will list down all the items I have created: reskin, HBA, add internal storage. So it track down all my completed. So the last step is reallocate the virtual machine. So in this way, we easily reallocate the virtual machine. Now if I will move to the host, and on Windows 7, I will check the properties of Windows 7. I will power on. Now this virtual machine now will run from my iSCSI data store. Now because as you know, I have moved this machine from local storage to the shared storage. Now it is run from my shared data store. So this is very as you can see, now Windows is booting up, and this machine is run from my shared data store. In summary, you can see now data store has been changed. The storage is now iSCSI target. So now in this lecture, I will show you a very interesting feature of the Windows VMware shared data store. Suppose we have a server which have a VMs. So, in case our VM get crashed, or our server malfunctioning, or suppose we have something wrong goes with our server. So I will how I will add my VMs to an new host. So I will show you the steps. How will you recover your VMs for the new host? So this is my Windows Server machine where I created my iSCSI data store. I will double click it, but it will, as you can see, this is a disk, but it will not show the content because it is locked down for Windows purpose. So it will not show the content. But this is the iSCSI target. As you can see that it will consume the 4.6 GB. So in case suppose we have an host which contain our VM, and for this purpose I will delete my VM from this host and again registered my VM to another host. So for this demo, first of all I will log into my machine for checking whether it is working properly or not. So it is working. My Windows is running smoothly. So as you can see, it will run normal. So it is working fine from the shared data store. All the apps and data will running as smoothly as we run it from the local data store. So I think it is running fine. I shut down my machine for demonstration. So now I will show you. I will delete this virtual machine from this, but keep remember delete from inventory, don't from this. So I will click on remove from the inventory. So let's suppose something goes wrong. So my machine is goes down. Now I will, if I want to come back this machine on my another server, so I will register. Let's suppose we have a new server. First of all, I will install a ESXi server on that server and join this server in vCenter server. And after joining the machine into vCenter server, which I also described in my previous lecture, let's suppose we have a machine like this 134. For registering this machine, old machine, I will go to the data store and click on my iSCSI data store. The easiest method for registering any VM into from the data store is to right click on VM. There is an option which is called registered VM. So I register my VM from my data store. So it will automatically scan my data store, and as you can see it will scan the VMX file, which is the main file for registration. So I click OK. Now it will ask me where I want to register this VM. So I will register any ESXi server on my vCenter inventory. So I click on the next, and from my cluster I will select my host and click on the complete successfully check and click on the finish. So after clicking finish, it will take a few minutes for registering this VM to my new server. So it will take some time. So after that it will rescan all my inventory, and I refresh this button again, and as you can see now Windows 7 is registered inventory. So if I right click and show the properties of this machine, so you can see that it will register on my host 134 with this storage on iSCSI target. Now I easily run this machine in case of any disaster recovery. So in this way we can easily recover any machine from the disaster to any new server. So this is the very straightforward process. So if you like the video, please subscribe my channel, and if you really like this video, then share it with your friends or your community. So I will be created a new videos like this. So for this video, thank you very much for this video. I will see you on my upcoming videos.